If you clicked on this video, I'm going to assume that means that you have a dream trip rattling around your head that you just have not booked yet. Either that, or you know you want to travel, but you just don't know where to start. Either way, this one's for you. If you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. My name is Christina. I was a full-time nomad for 7 years, traveling through the US, Southeast Asia, and Europe, and these are some of my stories. Let's talk. Step number 1. Now, this might be the most freeing thing that I'm going to tell you today. Stop waiting for perfect. There is no perfect time, no perfect amount of money, and no perfect destination. There's only the trip that you take and the one that you continue to dream about. Now, for me, the way I chose my first destination was a little unconventional. I was flying out from Los Angeles and I opened the Skyscanner app and put LA to anywhere. And I just scrolled until I found the first flight that was far enough away that it felt scary, but exciting. And I booked it. That's it. There was no pros and cons list. There was no Reddit deep dives of comparing 7 different countries. I just hit purchase and I was on my way to Southeast Asia. Would I recommend this method for everybody? Probably not, but it did eliminate the analysis paralysis and the chance to talk myself out of it. Now, if you genuinely don't know where to start, I will say this. Southeast Asia for value and ease, Western Europe for culture and structure, or Latin America for warmth, food, and your dollar stretching farther than you thought. Step number 2, book only 2 things before you go. Now, if you watched one of my last videos, you will remember that I said the biggest mistake that new travelers make is trying to book their accommodations before they arrive. The only thing you need to book are the plane ticket and your first 2 nights at a hotel by the airport. Everything else will come. When you book yourself out too early, you eliminate the opportunity to have accidents on your trip. And that's kind of the memories that solo travel is based around. Happy accidents, as Bob Ross would say. For example, I remember in Bali meeting a group of Australians, and it was their last couple nights in Bali and they wanted to do it up big. Well, we had met midday and we spent the day hanging out. And that night they had mentioned, hey, we are going to get a villa for the last couple days before we leave. This was a 5-bedroom villa with a built-in pool in the center of the villa with personal chefs to cook breakfast every morning. And it's not something that I ever could have or would have booked on my own being a solo traveler. But because I was only booking a hotel a couple nights at a time, my night at my current hotel happened to be up and they just invited me to the villa with them. So it was a group of 5 of us, and we stayed at this villa for a couple nights. That was such a unique, original experience that I wouldn't have had if I would have forcefully booked myself into night after night after night at a hotel. Step number 3, tell yourself first, AKA make it real. The first person that you need to convince is yourself. Not with spreadsheets and pros and cons lists or even with logic. You need to say to yourself out loud in a room, I am going, and see how that feels for you. Because if you bring it to somebody else before you've decided it as a fact, then if they respond with fear instead of excitement, it's very easy to take that fear as your own and talk yourself out of going. Step number 4, pack less than you think and then subtract some. Now, I'm going to tell you, when I first started traveling, I was not a traveler. I was a full-time nomad. That means my entire life fit into a 65-liter travel backpack and a carry-on. That was it. No apartment, no storage unit, just me and my bags. And even then, with that being everything I had, it was still too much. There was more than one instance when I would arrive at the airport and realize that my bag was overweight because I shopped too much. But instead of paying the overweight bag fee, which was usually between $100 to $200, I would open up my bag and do a quick assessment and take out everything that was not absolutely essential. I have 4 swimsuits. Awesome. I only need 1. These beautiful block heels that I swore were gonna go with every outfit. It's been over a month and I haven't put them on once. And I abandoned everything that was not absolutely essential right there on the floor of the airport. It was a free-for-all for anyone that needed a new wardrobe. And what it really taught me is that you don't need as much as you think. Even with me, whose entire life was in a suitcase, it was still too much. So I'm sure that you packing for a single trip, you probably have too much too. So go through, edit your suitcase, pack only the essentials, take out anything that's a just in case, and don't forget that you can always buy more stuff when you land. Step 5, give yourself 24 hours to see how you feel. A lot of people arrive at a new destination and they think they don't love it right away, but you forget that you are tired, you're jet lagged, you're cranky. That is why it's so important to book your first hotel by the airport. Get to your hotel, take a shower, eat a real meal, get some rest, and give it 24 to 48 hours before you make any judgments. Because even I've had that little voice in the back of my head saying, did I make the wrong decision? But sometimes all you need is a snack and a nap. We're all just giant 2-year-olds. And that's it. Those are the first 5 steps to taking your first solo trip. None of them are overly complicated. The hardest part is just doing it. Now, you know I love to leave you guys with a challenge, so here it is. I want you to open Google Flights and type in your dream destination. Then take a screenshot of the cheapest flight that you can find from where you are to your dream destination and post it in the comments because I want to creep on everybody's dream trip. And if you haven't seen the last video about how to make your dollar go farther, you guys can watch that right here. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.